What up, man? I don't know. Welcome to the stream. I don't know what that comment means, but I appreciate you coming in and leaving comments. Thank you. So, welcome to another stream. I don't feel like my face looks properly. I feel like it's stretched out, but it is what it is. So, um, Vicente Luque versus Kevin Holland. Mm-mm. This one is a really tricky fight to actually call because both fighters have been a bit unreliable in recent times, right? But Vicente Luque, it's not necessarily that he was unreliable, it just felt like he had given up on his career up until he fought Temba Gorimbo, right? And I feel like maybe we might have been too hard on Vicente Luque because the people that he's been losing to are not particularly bad losses, right? So there's a possibility we might have been too harsh on Vicente Luque, and we might have been like, no, this guy is trash. Even though I wasn't saying that, but okay, a part of me was. But basically, what all I've been saying is that maybe maybe we've been too harsh on Vicente Luque, to be honest, because let's actually go through Vicente Luque's wins, right? Let me not go too far back. Let me start in 2020. In 2020, Vicente Luque beat Nico Price. He then beat what do you call him? Let me see his name. Randy Brown. Yes, and he then went on to beat Randy Brown, and then he went on to beat in 2021. He beat Tyrone Woodley. At the time, it was a good win. Tyrone Woodley didn't lose that many fights in the UFC. I think they released them after four consecutive losses. Um, but still, I think at the time it was not a great win, but it was a decent win. He beat Michael Chiesa before Michael Chiesa became an old man. And then he lost to Bilal Mohammed. Then lost to Jeff Neal via TKO. Beat Rafael Dos Anjos via decision. Lost to Joaquin Buckley. And then beat Temba Gorimbo. So I feel like a lot of people have judged Vicente Luque a little bit more harshly for his performance against Joaquin Buckley, for his performance against um, Jeff Neal, for his performance against Bilal Mohammed. And we're talking about top contenders, right? Obviously, maybe Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal might not be on the same level as, for example, Bilal Mohammed or Joaquin Buckley, but still, Jeff Neal is a pretty decent contender, right? So I think a lot of people judge them too harshly, maybe potentially including myself, which maybe might have been a little bit more crazy. Damn, Kevin Holland is the favorite. That's crazy, man. But it is what it is. So Kevin Holland is one of those people. Maybe Kevin Holland has decided to take his career a little bit more seriously at welterweight because maybe he's tired of losing. He's tired of making excuses because I mean he did actually win his last fight uh, versus Carl Nelson, right? Even though it was a unanimous decision, I mean, there's no shame in losing to Carl Nelson. I mean, beating. I mean, he beat Carl Nelson, and in that particular fight, I genuinely thought Nelson would actually. Um, is it Carl Nelson? Am I saying it right? Let me actually double. Ghana Nelson. Yes, Ghana Nelson. I don't know why I was busy saying Kyle Nelson. He beat Ghana Nelson via unanimous decision. Um, that's not the greatest win, but also, I mean, Temba Gorimbo is not the greatest win. But when we look at the history of who these people are losing to, obviously now when you look at it, Kevin Holland losing to Renier de Ridder is not such a bad loss considering what he did to Bo Nickel. Uh, sorry. Considering what the Rene Derrida did to Bonico, I mean, in hindsight, it's not a bad loss. And now Rene Derrida is facing Robert Whittaker, right? So it's not too bad of a loss, to be honest. But I feel like I feel like both of them are not particularly great on the ground, but I feel like Vicente Luque is a little bit better at grappling. Both of them are horrible defensively. We could see a situation where Kevin Holland tries to grapple offensively, but in all honesty, I just feel like Vicente Luque is the more well-rounded fighter, even though his defensive grappling is trash, to be honest. But I feel like he's a little bit more well-rounded than what do you call him, Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland can keep it on the feet, and in all honesty, I feel like Vicente Luque can also win this fight on the feet if he wants to win it on the feet. But both of them, to be honest, on the feet they are pretty decent. However, obviously Kevin Holland is the taller guy, and obviously is the striker, and he knows how to use his range. So on the feet, it might give him an advantage. I think the best way for Vicente Luque to actually secure the win for himself is to take the fight to the ground and control him there. If even if he can't finish, I think he should just take him down and actually control him up until he gets a decision. But like I said, both of them are terrible defensively at grappling. I can see a situation where the fight plays out similar to is it Andre Filho? Yeah, is it Andre Filho and Alan Nascimento, something like that. So I can see the fight playing out in that particular way where they continuously reverse and reverse and reverse on the ground because, like I said, both of them have horrible defensive grappling. So I can see a situation where Kevin Holland somehow shocks us and is able to actually reverse positions on the ground. Because I'm one of the few people who were like Kevin Holland performed really well against Hamza Chimaev. He was doing the right things and he survived longer than I actually even thought he would. In all honesty, I actually expected Kevin Holland to lose within the first 30 seconds of that fight. And he lost it, and he was doing the right things defensively. So it's gonna be really difficult for Vicente Luque to actually submit him, I think. But nonetheless, I genuinely think Vicente Luque has a decent shot on the feet, but obviously Kevin Holland knows how to use his range. So the best path to victory, I think, is for Vicente Luque to actually grapple. I think Vicente Luque has faced a way better competition, or rather has beaten way better competition. Obviously, Kevin Holland has fought people like Hamza Chimaev. So I think Vicente Luque has beaten way better competition. I think that's going to give him an advantage as far as experience goes. This is a coin flip, to be honest. I'm not particularly confident in my pick, but my subscribers and I are going with Vicente Luque. Thank you. Until next time, or until tomorrow, deuces.